Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to NFL Thoughts. I like doing that. I know I've been doing that as of lately, in every single one of my videos and my intros where I just do this. I think I'm going to continue to do that. But what I wanted to talk about was the Philadelphia Eagles. And last night, if you saw the game, you would say the Eagles played sloppy football all around. They played sloppy football. And all I can say is, not that I could care less about Eagles, how y'all finish this season. Actually, I do care because I want to win the division, But and from what I'm seeing, I'll be quite honest with you. Call me crazy, but I think it's still a very good chance that we can still win this division from what I saw by the Eagles yesterday night. People want to talk trash about my team on how, when we played the Lions, we let them hang around for 3 quarters before we finally ran away with it in the 4th. Yeah, but understand, we were going up against the 3rd-ranked offense in the NFL. I mean, we were going up against the 3rd-best offense, 3rd-best scoring offense in the NFL, and we held them to 6 points. I have enough fingers to point out how many points the Lions scored against our defense. I don't have enough fingers, whether it's my hands or feet. I don't have enough fingers to count how many points the Lions scored on the Eagles defense opening day. But I would like to say, again, we held the 3rd-ranked scoring offense to 6 points. And I understand our offense was a little rusty. We had our quarterback coming back after 5 games of sitting out. So, I mean, come on. Cut us some slack. And you saw what happened on Sunday. Dak was clicking. He was clicking. I did not see that from the Eagles on Thursday night yesterday. It was one of those games where, okay, did they dominate offensively? Not really. Jalen Hurts had a good game. He completed 21 of 27 for 243, 2 touchdowns and no picks. So he had a good game. And their running game was okay. Their running game wasn't half bad. And they finished with 360 yards of offense. But, against the Texans. So, yeah, they didn't really dominate offensively. Did they dominate defensively? Not really either. The Texans scored 17 points, and while for an average team, you would think that that's not really a whole lot, but for the Texans, who are near the bottom of every offensive category, 17 points is kind of, underwhelming if you ask me about the Eagles' defense. And they were gashed in the running game. They were getting gashed by the running game of the Texans. Dameon Pierce carried the ball 27 times for $139, and they had in total 168 yards rushing. You can clearly see when teams run the football, when the game is close and the Texans and your team has a chance to still win, and you have a chance to still be able to use your regular offense and run the ball, you can see the difference that the Eagles' run defense is trash. We gave up 240 yards rushing to the Chicago Bears, and I get that. Our run defense is our run defense needs some work too. But I'm living by a prayer that Jonathan Hankins figures this whole scheme out, and he's the difference maker for our run defense improving. But for the Eagles, all I can say is that game was so sloppy and so underwhelming. I mean, if I were you, I would be thinking to myself, man, that we won and we're 8-0, but the way we've been playing, things better change for us in the long run. Otherwise, it's going to get ugly real fast. And that's how I feel, which is why before I get out of here, I want to go over the Eagles' final 9 games. And you're going to hate me, or you're going to maybe possibly agree with me just a little bit. But I'm just saying, from what I've seen from the Eagles, I have not been impressed. I'm impressed by their record of being 8-0, but the way their play on the football field, I'm not impressed by. It's like they're winning all the games, but if it wasn't for some of the games that they've been playing sloppy in against bad teams, all I'm saying is, Eagles, y'all keep playing around like this against good teams, and I promise you, you're not going to stay undefeated for very much longer. Nonetheless, I want to go through the Eagles' final 9 games of the season to see exactly where I see the Eagles going forward. Against the Washington Commanders, Taylor Heinicke last year kind of had y'all's number. Like, y'all won both games, but it wasn't like y'all blew them out. It wasn't like y'all blew them out. And that wasn't entirely a good football team. The Washington Commanders. Like, they weren't a very good football team. And you won 27-17 in the Week 14 matchup, which was on Tuesday night, thanks to some COVID protocols. And you put up over 500 yards of offense, I'll give you that. Then you played them like a couple weeks later, and this time you were playing the Washington COVIDs, who just had COVID protocols everywhere around their team, and somehow the game was even closer this time than it was last time. You won 20-16, but I don't know how I would feel about that. Nonetheless, they won those 2 games, but from what I see, and I know this is a better, much more stacked Philadelphia Eagles team than last year, I get that, but still, y'all play around like that against the Commanders and y'all are going to lose. And from what I've been seeing on television, it looks like y'all might just very well be playing around in that game. And Taylor Heinicke is clearly an upgrade from Carson Wentz. And it seems like Washington responds better to Taylor Heinicke than Carson Wentz. With Carson Wentz is trying to, hero his team to victory all the time. But, Taylor Heinicke, he's just trying to will his team to victory. And they win all these ugly games, but they win them. And the Eagles might just very well meet their match in a game like this against another team who's probably even better at winning games ugly than you guys are. So I'm going to say that the Eagles' undefeated streak is going to drop. And they are going to drop their first game of the season against the Commanders. Following that up with the game against the Indianapolis Colts, Jonathan Taylor is out with an ankle injury against the Patriots. But if the Colts can run the football, trust me, they will run the ball all over the Eagles and win that game. And also they have a good defense too. That Colts defense is very underrated. That might give Jalen Hurts fits. So I have them losing 2 straight, losing to the Commanders and then losing to the Colts. Up next, week 12 on Sunday Night Football, then they play the Green Bay Packers. I'll give you that one because the Packers have been high maintenance all season long. And if only they could just realize that running the football with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon is just the way to go, they could maybe possibly change their season around. But as of right now, I got the Eagles winning because the Packers are just not looking good as of right now. Then they turn around and they play the Tennessee Titans. Now, early in the season, I would have said Eagles winning this game all the way. But as of late, the Titans have been back to their physical, hard-hitting football, type of games. And that's just what they're best known for. And they've won 5 in a row. So, and behind Derrick Henry, going up against a weak run defense of the Philadelphia Eagles, yeah, I think that's another game that in big boy football, the Eagles may proclaim that they can play big boy football, but I don't think, judging by your defense, I don't think y'all can play big boy football. So this is a game that I will say they will lose to Tennessee. And I have them winning 3 more games after. I have them losing 3 more games after that. Because then after that, they play the Giants. I have them losing that game. The Giants just for some reason play the Eagles very competitive. And when the Eagles play in New York, they struggle a little bit. Especially last year when their offense was supposed to, score all over the Giants. And they were held to 7 points and lost that game 13-7. And I understand Jalen Reagor let a ball go through his hands, but understand Jalen Hurts threw 4 interceptions. Correct me if I'm wrong. So don't blame that all on Jalen Reagor because Jalen Hurts didn't play well either. He played bad. And it seems like he, as of late, kind of plays bad against the Giants as a whole. I mean, when they played them again, it was a 3-3 game at halftime before they pulled away in the second half. But, I mean, the Giants played the Eagles very competitively. And they give Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense fits. So I will say right now that I think the Giants will win that game, especially with them having home field advantage. So I have them losing that game. Then they play the Chicago Bears with the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. I don't think your defense is going to be able to contain Justin Fields and Will Montgomery. Can't even remember the dude's name. Khalil Herbert. They have that 3 running back by committee basically that can run all over the Eagles defense. I'm basically describing this in the fact that the Eagles can't play big boy football. So that's why I have them losing these games. Also, Taylor Heineke, I think y'all will lose to Taylor Heineke. So, yeah, they can't play big boy football. They don't want physical football. So, I have them losing that game to the Chicago Bears with the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. After that, they play us. And you already know we've been known to play a little bit of big boy football this year. And we just don't have a very good run defense. But we played big boy football. Trust me, we have. We played big boy football against the 2 Super Bowl representatives of last year. And guess what? Those 2 teams caught an L against us. So, with that being said, I have them losing to us as well. So they dropped 4 in a row before y'all beat the Saints in Week 17. And I'll give you a win against the Giants at home to close out the season 11-6. But that's how I see this. I can see the Eagles losing 6 of their last 9 games. I know the schedule says that I know a lot of people says that the schedule favors the Eagles, but me personally, I don't think so. Because, like I said, from what I've seen, they can't play physical football. They don't want big boy football. And a lot of these teams, they're going to have to play big boy football against them. And I don't think that they can do that. Sorry. But I have the Eagles going 11-6. After seeing that game that they played against the Texans last night, oh yeah, I think we definitely still have a very good shot of, winning the division. It's a week-to-week league. Teams have to sometimes, the question is, how can teams respond when they get punched in the mouth? Well, the Cowboys, we kind of got punched in the mouth by the Philadelphia Eagles, but we responded and we picked ourselves right back up and made that a ball game in the end. But nonetheless, it was too little too late. But it is what it is. But I can bet you that we play y'all again with Dak Prescott. I can honestly tell you right now, it's not going to happen again. Y'all aren't finna just sneak past us again. So, yeah. So this division is still up for grabs, in my opinion. Everybody in the division is really good, and the Eagles could easily falter and fall apart, and we can take this division right back. So, with that being said, like, subscribe. This is NFL Thoughts. Out.